Mahaganapatin Manasa Smarami Mahadeva Mudam Shirasa Namami Mahaganapatin Manasa Smarami.
When we are with Ishvara, two more things I would like to tell. There is memory. The memory is it is included in the psychological order, and also it serves as a great basis for learning. Without memory, learning is just impossible. Therefore, you require memory. And so, it is included in the epistemological order, the order of knowing, and also psychological order. You can't be sad without memory. Therefore, it is the psychological order. The emotional aspect of it will be under the psychological order. It's all just order, one whole Maha order. There's no big separation. And then, when we are with Ishvara, we need to know that we have only choice over our actions. Karmani eva adhikaraste. You have a choice over your action, your pursuits. You can plan, you can do. You have desires conforming to dharma. You can plan, you can do. But then all your plans and the courses of action you have taken need not necessarily result in something in keeping with your expectation. Sometimes what you expect you get. Sometimes you get even more, sometimes less, sometimes even opposite. That is because our knowledge is very limited. Our Shakti also is limited. For want of knowledge, we cannot avoid a few things. An accident can be avoided if only we knew there would be an accident. So we cannot avoid due to lack of knowledge. What is in store, nobody knows. We only assume everything will go well. And then things need not go well. Then there are things that we can predict, but we can't do anything. You may predict a volcanic eruption, you can't do anything about it. You can predict an earthquake, you can only run away from the place. You can't do anything about it. You can't stop it. Therefore, there are a lot of things that we can predict, but we can't change. That is for want of Shakti. This is the difference between knowledge and Shakti. We don't have the power to do anything about it. We may know. Sometimes if we know, we can avoid, but we don't know. Therefore, due to deficiency in Shakti, in fact, Alpa Shakti, due to limited Shakti, limited knowledge, limited resources, limited manpower, and due to, in other words, limitations, you cannot get what you want. That's why it can overshoot your expectation also. The logic works both ways. That you didn't expect this much. When you came, some of you came to this camp first time. You didn't know what to expect. Those people who came first time, they didn't know what to expect. And then, so either they get more than what they expected, or less than what they expected, or opposite, I can't say, okay? So, more than what, or exactly what they expected. So, equal to what they expected. So, equal to what they expected, less than what they expected, more than what they expected. So, this, because it can go this way or that way, if there is unpredictability, it can be in your favor, it can be against you. And therefore, so my stock example is, one wants to cross the road and catch the bus. One can cross the road and catch the bus, equal. One can cross the road and get a ride home. Somebody whom you know, stops the car and asks you, "Where are you going?" "Home." "Okay, get in." This doesn't happen every day. It happens now and then, occasionally, more than what you expected. Then, less than what you expected. You crossed the road, but you missed the bus. The bus was standing there, everybody was getting in, your turn came, and the fellow said, "Right." That's what they do in India, in Tamil Nadu. I don't know in other states what they do. And there is a conductor, there is a driver. And the conductor says, "Right." Means the bus starts. Idhar bhi aisi karta hai? Right bolta hai? Right. So, right. Bus starts. Everything is wrong for that fellow. And so, he is standing there stranded completely. He has to catch the bus, he has to go to office, already late, and now bus gone. Then the next bus is going to be definitely not the one number. He wants number 10, and number 9 comes, number 11 comes, number 12 comes, number 8 comes, number 10 doesn't come. And number 10 comes after half an hour, comes. So this, it comes, it comes, thanarind. It comes heaving. It comes heaving and breathing heavily. It comes buzz. It's coming. And then it's a Calcutta bus, The Calcutta bus has got one special quality. And that is, it looks always it is turning right. And so, the nose is like this only, it comes like this. It comes like that. And so, if you want to see a battered bus, you should go to Calcutta. It's battered. how you can put so many dents in a bus you do not know. And you have that Calcutta bus carries all that. And so it just, then it comes, then how, it's not going to stop because already it's, therefore that's what it is. Less than what you wanted. More than what you wanted, equal to your expectation, less than your expectation. The other one is something, it's very unfortunate, but it happens. The person was crossing the road. And he looked this side and looked that side, both sides. There was enough clearance. And he can easily cross the road, and he crossed the road. But he dashed. When he dashed to the other end, he didn't take into account the banana peel on the road. So he put his foot on it and he went sprawling, and then he hit the road. Then comes Yamaha. So Yamaha comes over him and the Rajdut comes over him. And therefore this fellow is finished, lost consciousness, then goes to the hospital. He's taken to the hospital, and then after 3 days wakes up asking all Vedantic questions. What are those questions? Who am I? So who am I? This happens. Now, not only the one thing is he is in the emergency ward, and in the emergency ward, like him, all the beds are full, and there are 48 beds, and all of them are full. And how all of them? Did anybody have prior appointment and come to emergency ward? Therefore, understand, there is always company. Emergency ward is always full. That means the fourth result is always there. The fourth result is always, it happens, nobody expects that kind of things happen. And therefore, so more than what you expect, equal to your expectation, less than what you expect, and the other one is opposite. Correct. And every karma is fraught with this kind of four result. Don't think it's only crossing the road. It's eating. People die while eating. The food goes to windpipe instead of going to the stomach. One person died and he went from Coimbatore to Amsterdam for some industrial fair, something. And he was in Amsterdam, eating in a restaurant. I mean, definitely non-vegetarian food, I'm sure. And this industrialist, big industrialist, Coimbatore. And then while he was eating, something went into his windpipe, and then he fell unconscious. They gave him a wrong first aid. First aid for a heart attack. It is opposite. First aid for this is different. First aid for a heart attack, and therefore what happened? He went into a coma, and afterwards never returned. It was the greatest tragedy for Coimbatore. A great industrialist, politically committed and a clean man, Well, it was a tragedy. Still that family is not recovered. So it happens. This windpipe. All the doctors know this kind of things, always cases come all the time, emergency. And therefore, this opposite, in any action it can happen. In eating also, more than what you expected. You ate something and then you got your knee pain gone. Knee pain gone. You just ate some kirai. Some greens. When you suppose when you eat, when you went to eat somewhere and then they served some greens and then your knee pain gone. More than what you expected. Equal to your expectation. Less than your expectation, like cucumber. It went inside your stomach all right, but never gets digested. Tucked back. And then the other is what I say, the opposite. In everything, when you invest some money, more than what you invested for, you expected some 10% profit, you got 20% profit, and equal to your expectation, and then less than what you expected, then afterwards you lost your capital also. ये भी होता है. Therefore, in every karma, these 4 types of result. And therefore, you have to deal with these 4 types of result. And this is what we say, in Lord Krishna says, Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Your response to all of them must be more or less the same. How that is possible? It is not a piece of advice. It is an attitude born of understanding. What is understanding? It is given to me to do karma for which I have choice. I can do, I need not do. But once I have done, the result is taken care of. The result is not only my karma, there are others' karma. Somebody expects rains and he prays for rains. There is somebody else who is also a bhakta who fixed up with a marriage for his daughter and he says, so let there be no rains. And he has no house or anything, he doesn't have a huge house and he has put this shamiana and he is going to get this marriage performed. And he prays for no rains for 3 days. And this man prays for rains for these few days. Therefore, Bhagavan kya karega? Bhagavan kya karega? Therefore, so keep quiet. Don't do anything. If at all you do 1 drop, you put for this. So that fellow's prayer neutralize this fellow's prayer. Therefore, kya karo? So what it is, what I say, this is all cross purposes are there and you don't get because we are all connected. So people are all connected, noodles like. You never pick up one noodle. It's always a bunch when it comes. Therefore karma is like this. Much more than noodle. It's all connected. And therefore, so you have gahana karmano gatihi. The ways of karma are too complicated for anybody to figure out. And therefore, So all that is necessary is to understand that not only the current action goes into the production of the result, my past karma also inhibits, sometimes enhances the result. That is why you get more than what you expected, and therefore sometimes inhibits the karma, and therefore less than what you expected. And so there are too many things involved in this. Law of karma plays a role. But one good thing I know, the infallible Ishvara, understand, the infallible Ishvara, whose laws of action and karma and its result, and law of karma, and whose laws produce result. And therefore, I can never be cheated of what I deserve, and therefore, what this action deserves. And so this, because other people are also involved, you must always know. And therefore, so it looks as though somebody got it, I didn't get it. But somebody might have earned it, and he didn't earn anything. I earned, but we had earned already before. Already before it is working for him. Therefore he is lucky this time. Next time you may be lucky. And that is gahana karmano gatihi. Therefore, so karmanyevadikaraste, you have a choice over your action, but not over the result of action. Every result of action is therefore unfolded by the laws of the Lord, and the laws that are not separate from the Lord Ishvara. Correct? The laws that are not separate from Ishvara. The laws are a manifestation of Ishvara. And therefore, so karmaphala you get according to the laws. How does the Lord operate with reference to an individual? Only this way, through the laws. And therefore, you get the result, and exactly whatever that has to come from the Lord. And therefore, every result of karma comes from whom? From Ishvara. Now here, this is where, the Hindus have got an advantage. What is advantage? Some advantage. Others can get the same advantage. Hindus have got an advantage in the sense they have got this what we call a build-up over a period of time. And that suppose the children go to the temple. And then in the temple, whatever they give, the children are asked to take it. I don't want it. A banana is given by the priest. And then this is a ABCD. So, you know ABCD? What is ABCD? American born, confused Deshi. And therefore, and EFG also. American born, confused EFG. This is what they say, I heard that. And therefore, then that man, the priest gives this banana. It's a prasad. And he says, I don't want it. You take it. I don't want it. Why? Because I hate bananas. Why do you hate bananas? Because I hate it. Why do you hate? Why do you hate banana? What did banana do to you? I hate it. But here, a child growing up here has the advantage, Same Indian child growing up here has an advantage. What is the advantage? Will quietly accept. Why? It is prasada. Banana is a prasada. Why? because it comes from the altar, it comes from the Lord. Prasada, vibhuti, prasada, kunkumam, prasada, sugar crystal, prasada, laddu, prasada. A leaf, prasada, patram, prasada, that is a leaf, a tulsi leaf, bilwa leaf, prasada. All these are prasada. Anything comes from the Lord is prasad. Water, prasada. This is already it is a built-in attitude. You have in your infrastructure, there is an attitude. And this attitude, by education, this is by upbringing, is extended by education, that every result of action is from the Lord which is in the form of the laws, and therefore there is nothing which is not coming from Ishvara, and therefore every result is prasada, and every result is from the Lord, therefore it can be looked upon as prasada. If that background knowledge is there, otherwise it is not prasada. This alone is prasada. If the background knowledge of Ishvara, this 1 week we have been talking about this, at the end I am telling this, finally. If that background knowledge is there, everything is a manifestation of Ishvara. And the laws shape the result. The laws are not separate from Ishvara. And therefore, every result is coming as it does from Ishvara, is prasada, is an extension of this attitude. Anybody can have this attitude. Once this is understood, anybody can have this attitude. Prasada. And therefore, so this equal to your expectation, prasada, more than your expectation, prasada, less than your expectation, prasada. What is that? Prasada. Why? What else we can do? Prasada. Opposite to your expectation, prasada. To say prasada, you require space. That space is from Ishvara. It is not from anybody else. It is from that basic person. I've been talking to you. It is from the devotee who is related to Ishvara. He alone can say it is prasada. He may not be able to say prasada unless he is little off. He will say prasada. But still he has a shock absorber. An attitude in a shock absorber, an insulation against shocks, which makes the person emotionally a yo-yo. These shocks are impossible. And everything is confined to its own role, the upadhi. Upadhi, I said, role. All of them, all results are either equal or more, lesser, opposite, they have to fall under these categories. These things you won't find in the Gita, except our home study. Anywhere you read. Because unassimilated knowledge, that is what I feel very sad about. People talk too much about these things. Nobody seems to really look into all that, what it is all about. But it is there in our culture. A child is called prasada. A home is prasada. A child, in fact, some of these names are prasads. Even now, there may be in this audience one prasad at least. Is there a prasad? Who is prasad? He is prasad. And then any other newcomer is a permanent prasad. See, Mrs. Prasad is here. So, that is also prasad, understand? So that everybody is a prasad. Everybody is a prasad. And everybody is a prasad. There is nobody who is not prasad. And therefore, so if you understand this, then there is a certain, the process of healing is not, guilt and hurt are not going to stay. They have no staying power. In fact, this is called karma yoga, samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. The other, I told you. So even though I like to do one thing, but then what is to be done I do. What I like, I sacrifice. I grow in terms of dharma. That means space. Dharma means Ishvara. Because dharma is the manifestation of Ishvara. I get connected. Immediately I become a bhakta, bhagavata. Therefore I am in keeping with dharma means I am allowing the devotee to come to the fore. And thus, and there is this guilt and hurt will have no staying power in my heart. They have to go. Staying power is there only when you go on nursing it. You operate as an ego. Here you operate as a bhakta, as a devotee first and devotee last. Every role is devotee father, devotee son, devotee uncle, devotee cousin, devotee mother, devotee daughter. Therefore, there is a question, when is the time that I am non-devotee? Because it's a basic relationship. And therefore, they have no staying power. That is the basis for further knowledge the Gita has got to give. To be guilty, you are supposed to be a doer. Unless you are a doer, you can't think of omission and commission. You are doer only with reference to what is being done. But essentially you are a non-doer. Aham akarta. Actionlessness is my nature. If one is very clear about it, while doer is you and the you are not the doer, this is not mere verbal. This is the very nature of yourself. Because the self is, as I said, the conscious being. What is the content of the conscious being? Consciousness. What is the content of all-knowing conscious being, Ishvara? Consciousness, limitless consciousness. And therefore, actionlessness is my nature. Therefore, Nayam Hanti, I perform no action. And limitlessness is this consciousness. There is nothing outside limitless consciousness. And therefore, Nayam Hanyate is never an object of anybody's action. So I am neither the subject to be guilty, nor I am the object to get hurt. Therefore, Nayam Hanti, Na Hanyate, neither subject nor object, and therefore Atma is free from guilt and hurt. That is absolute. Not long way to go, only one step. One step. All that is required is letting the devotee come out. Afterwards, you require only one step. And therefore, it is this, I have to make sure this guilt and hurt have no staying power. Make sure they have no staying power. By inside out, bringing out that devotee, and also going into the devotee, shedding all the roles. I recognize the basic person and let the basic person come out in my day-to-day life while role-playing, and by giving a special karma like puja, prayer, etc. Therefore, in our tradition, whatever that is practiced, every one of them is meaningful. There is nothing that is meaningless. With these words, so I conclude this, and I thank Bhagavan for all this, and thank all of you. And I had the pleasure of talking to you. And with these words I conclude. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Mahaganapatin manasa smarami, Mahadeva mudam shirasa namami. Mahaganapatin manasa smarami.
Bharata desha hitaya kuru sevam tum, kuru sevam tum, kuru sevam tum, kuru sevam.